Chronicles of Wealth. A blueprint for prosperity.
In the 1850s, a 13-year-old boy worked at a textile factory in Pennsylvania. He toiled 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, in a dark, stuffy basement, earning exactly $1.20 a week. His name was Andrew Carnegie. Every morning, he saw the same scene. Hundreds of adult men, worn out by hard labor, walking to the factory, trading their health for pennies. And each of them believed that if they worked even harder and longer, one day they would become rich. But that never happened. They remained just as poor as when they started. 50 years later, that very same boy from the basement sold his steel company for $480 million, becoming the richest man on the planet. How did he do it? Did he work 1,000,000 times harder than those workers at the furnaces? No, that's physically impossible. Carnegie cracked what we call the tycoon code. He understood a fundamental truth that is hidden from 99% of people today. You will never become rich by selling your time. In this video, we'll take a detailed look at Carnegie's financial strategy. You'll learn why the modern education system sets you up for a lifetime of poverty, how the vineyard formula works in the industrial age, and what 4 steps will allow you to launch your own money-making system as early as this month, even if your budget is currently limited to just $1,000. Watch until the end, because every segment of this video is a building block in the foundation of your financial freedom. Let's take off our rose-colored glasses and conduct a rigorous financial audit of your life. Since childhood, we've been taught the formula: study hard, find a stable job, work diligently, and you'll achieve success. That's a lie, and it can be proven mathematically. A traditional job is a system of linear exchange. You trade your most valuable, irreplaceable resource, time, for pieces of paper called money. This system is built on 2 fatal flaws. Your time is finite. There are only 24 hours in a day. Even if you work without sleep or rest, your income is physically limited by your biological limits. You are useful, but you don't own anything. In the corporate machine, you are a part. A very high-quality, perhaps expensive part, but still just a part. As soon as a part wears out or becomes too expensive, the system replaces it. The moment you stop working, due to illness, vacation, or dismissal, your income drops to 0. Carnegie realized this as a teenager while working on the railroad. He noticed that top managers and shareholders get rich not by working longer hours, but because they own the infrastructure. Ask yourself right now, if you stopped working today, how long could you maintain your standard of living? A week? A month? If your income depends on your presence, you are a slave to your own time. You are a mercenary who pays with your life for the illusion of security. Carnegie, being a deep thinker, often turned to principles that had held true for centuries. And one of the main secrets to long-term wealth is found in the book of Proverbs, in the description of the wise woman. She considers a field and buys it. From the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard. Most people read this as poetry. Carnegie read it as a business plan. Let's break down these 3 steps at a molecular level. Step 1. She considers a field. Consideration. This is a phase of deep analysis and cool-headed calculation. Most people invest based on emotions. They buy what's booming right now, or start a business because it's trendy. A wise investor looks for an undervalued field. He assesses the risks when others are panicking. Step 2. Acquisition. This is the transition to ownership. You're not buying a promise of income. You're buying rights to an asset. Carnegie didn't save money in a bank account. He bought up shares in railroad companies and bridge-building factories when they were worth pennies. He took control. Step 3. Planting. A vineyard doesn't bear fruit in the first year. You plant the vine, tend to it, and only after several years do you get wine. This involves building a system with a 5 to 10-year planning horizon. Carnegie reinvested every cent of profit back into production. He didn't buy expensive estates right away. He built new blast furnaces. When Carnegie founded Carnegie Steel, he applied the principle of vertical integration. He didn't just own steel mills. He bought iron ore mines, coal mines, steamships, and railroads. He created a system where every stage of production belonged to him. He didn't have to pay middlemen. His vineyard was self-contained and bore fruit continuously. Let's apply this math to the present day and see what happens over a 10-year period for two different people. The mercenary's path. Alexei. Alexei is an excellent IT specialist. He works hard, is constantly learning, and earns $4,000 a month. Every year, management raises his salary by a generous 5%. After 10 years, Alexei earns about $6,200 a month. Over the course of that decade, he has earned a total of about $600,000. But he has no assets. If Alexei decides to take a year off or falls ill, his income will instantly drop to zero. He has spent 10 years of his best energy building someone else's empire. The creator's path. Maria. Maria starts from scratch. She has the same skills, but she decides to apply the Carnegie Code. In the first year, she creates a simple microsystem. For example, an automated subscription service for local businesses, or a delegation agency. In the first year, her net profit is just $500 a month. Alexei laughs at her. But Maria reinvests her profits. Her microsystem grows by just 15% a year. 10 years later, this small business brings her more than $8,000 a month in net profit. What's more, Maria now owns an asset with a market value estimated at $300,000. She can sell it, pass it on to her heirs, or step away from the business, and the system will continue to operate. At the start, Alexei seemed like the winner. By the finish, Maria had moved into a completely different league. The difference between them isn't in their level of intelligence or the number of hours they worked. The difference lies in which system they chose to participate in. But I don't have Carnegie's millions, you might say. And you'd be wrong. Carnegie started out with nothing but debt. Today, in the age of the internet, building your own infrastructure is easier and cheaper than ever before in human history. Let's take a detailed look at 4 practical ways to create an asset with a budget of up to $1,000. Option 1. Building digital infrastructure, SaaS and microservices. You don't have to be a genius programmer. Today, there are no-code platforms, app and website builders. How it works. Identify a simple but common daily pain point for small businesses. For example, fitness trainers find it inconvenient to keep track of clients and payments. Create a simple Telegram bot or web page for them to automatically schedule appointments and accept payments. Scale. Charge $15 per month to use the bot. Find 50 trainers. Now you have a system generating $750 per month in passive income. You've created a digital vineyard that runs without your involvement. Path 2. Information brokerage, knowledge assets. Carnegie often said, "I don't know how to smelt steel, but I know how to bring together people who do." How it works. You can create a knowledge base, document templates, ready-made spreadsheets for analytics, or automated checklists for a narrow niche, for example, for lawyers, marketers, or real estate agents. Scalability. Spend time once to create this product. Set up a simple automated sales funnel. This product will sell hundreds of times while you sleep. This is pure passive income, where your scaling costs are zero. Path 3. Fully delegated agency model, process management. If you have a hands-on skill, such as video editing or setting up ads, don't sell your time. Build a system. How it works: instead of editing videos yourself for $50, find a client willing to pay $100. Find a talented entry-level editor who will do the job for $40. Scale. Your job is to oversee quality and act as the liaison. Once you've streamlined the process, you can hire a project manager for a share of the profits. Congratulations. You're no longer just an employee. You're the owner of an agency. Path 4. Micro-physical assets, vending and rentals. If you're more drawn to the physical world, start small. How it works: buying a used coffee machine or self-service kiosk often costs between $800 and $1,000. Place it in a high-traffic area, office, car wash. Scale. Yes, you'll have to restock the ingredients once a week. But this machine generates profit 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even during storms or holidays. This is your first solid step toward understanding how real-world assets work. There is another profound principle that modern productivity enthusiasts, who work 16 hours a day until they burn out, tend to overlook. It is the principle of Shabbat, the law of rest. Ancient texts state that the Creator rested on the seventh day, not because he was tired, but because the system was complete and functioning perfectly. Rest is the ultimate litmus test of your financial health. If you can go on vacation for a month, turn off your phone, and still maintain your income, you have a system. You are the owner. But if everything falls apart when you try to take a break, you don't have a business. You simply have a job where you yourself are the strictest and most ruthless boss. Carnegie knew how to take a break. He spent months at his castle in Scotland, while his factories in the U.S. continued to produce millions of metric tons of steel and bring him enormous profits. He trusted the system he had created. Most people get stuck in an endless cycle, like a hamster on a wheel. The moment they stop, everything grinds to a halt. But the true power of a system lies in the fact that it gives you the freedom to take a break. While you rest and recharge, your assets continue to work for you. The servant in the parable of the talents buried his coin in the ground out of fear. He knew the theory, but was afraid to take action. The most dangerous thing you can do after watching this video is to sigh, close the tab, and go back to living your old life, hoping for a miracle. There will be no miracle. The system is designed to keep you afloat, but never let you soar. The only way out is to start building your vineyard right now. Tonight, take a blank sheet of paper. Choose one of the 4 paths we discussed. Devote the next 7 days solely to studying it. Write a simple plan. And take the first step, even if it's the smallest and most imperfect one, toward building your asset. Remember, 10% of a planted vineyard will always yield more fruit than 100% of a vineyard that remains only in your dreams. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new analyses of the ancient codes of wealth. Start thinking like a tycoon, and let your system work for you. See you in the next video.